Good morning. Welcome to Time in His Word. Have you ever thought about the little things you do each and every day to take care of yourself, to help yourself, to get through the day? For instance, like yesterday, where I loaded at, it was 97 degrees. So, of course, I have plenty of water. I had some Gatorade to refurbish, what gets burned out between sweat and dehydration. I carry in the truck here, I carry a set of well-insulated coveralls for the wintertime when I'm in the northern states, because it tends to get a little bit cold. Temperatures below zero are cold. Just the thought of them gets you chilly. So I have to have a variety of clothing in here for the weather, because at any given time, in summertime's not so bad, just gotta, drink plenty of fluids to keep from getting dehydrated. But the wintertime, one day I can be in Minnesota and it's zero, and 3 days later I can be down in Florida and it's 75, 80 degrees. So, and that's the norm. I have a huge temperature change from the weather like that in the wintertime, and I've done it for years, and somehow or another I don't get colds, which amazes me because of the drastic temperature changes from day to day and week to week. But anyway, I do all these little precautions to keep myself safe from the elements, clothing, from, plenty of water and Gatorades and Powerade, drinks like that to help replenish when I'm outside working in the sun. So that part I've taken care of. Now let's flip that. And what are we doing to take care of our lives spiritually? Because it's just as important. In fact, I believe it's more important than anything, where we're going to spend eternity, or where we're planning on spending eternity. Are you working towards that goal of where you want to spend eternity, or have you not given it much thought yet? And if you've not given it much thought yet, how come? Because the Bible teaches there's only two destinations, heaven or hell, and we get to choose. There's that word again, choice. I keep saying that a lot, but it's true. When you read through Scripture and that, God doesn't force Himself on us. We get to choose whether or not we want to accept Him. We get to choose. And so by that thinking, that's why my question this morning is, what are you doing to prepare yourself for where you're going to spend eternity? Romans, the 10th chapter, verse 17 says, so faith comes from hearing, and hearing by the word of Christ. So what, and I've talked about this before, what you listen to, what you read, and all that has a big influence on how you look about things, how you go about doing things. Here's another verse, John the 14th chapter, verse 1. This is one of my favorite passages. And it says, do not let your heart be troubled. Believe in God. Believe also in me. In my Father's house are many dwelling places. If it were not so, I would have told you. For I go to prepare a place for you. If I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you to myself, and that where I am, there you may be also. So, I feel like, for me personally, and I can't speak for you, but for me personally, I feel like I put more time and effort into preparing myself where I'm going to spend eternity than anything. I'm constantly in the Word. I have to be to study, to bring messages like, to you guys every day. I just can't do it on a whim. It'll show. But given the fact, even if I didn't have this site, I would still spend more time reading the Bible, listening to things like that, that's going to prepare me for eternity, rather than just, I'll think about it someday. But we don't know when that someday will come. You could be young and 20 and think you've got a lifetime ahead of you and worry about accepting Christ later on, and the next moment you fall over dead or you get hit by a car. So we don't know, and James talks about that in the book of James, that we're here like a vapor. You know how quick a vapor disappears, and it's the same with our time on earth here. We don't know how long we're going to be here. You know, I've got plans for later on this month to do things with my family and that, but that could all change at a snap of a finger. So I guess what I'm getting at this morning is we all prepare for the elements, the weather, the hot weather. We drink lots of water, and we do things to take care of our bodies for the heat and just everyday life like that. But the bigger question I'm asking you this morning is, what have you done to prepare yourself spiritually and where you're going to spend eternity? That's like I said before, that's to me is just as important, if not more, than taking care of yourself daily to protect yourself against dehydration and stuff. So just think about that today. How much time are you spending in His Word, studying it, so that your knowledge of Scripture and your faith in the walk with Christ is strong enough to hold off Satan and everything he's going to throw at you and just everyday life struggles that life brings? Romans, the 10th chapter, verse 17. So faith comes from hearing, and hearing by the word of Christ.